means that the computer no longer thinks that there is something inside of the headphone jack. Oh, sorry. Here. This is all in Hebrew, but what we're looking at is the speaker qualities, the playback properties. And one of the things I like to do in Windows for all my clients is to go into the enhancement section, unless they've got Dolby Sound. If they've got Dolby Sound, they're all good, and also in this case, they're all good. Sometimes there's a few more settings in here that can really enhance the speakers. But at the moment, it's not seeing anything in the headphone jack, which is really, really good. So, first things first, let's get them hooked up to Wi-Fi. I don't know why some people put all these icons so far away, like they need to have a really, really, really clean area down here. But some of these icons are kind of informative, especially if you're using them on a regular basis, like your battery and your speakers and your Wi-Fi. I think you should be seeing what you're doing. But to each their own. All right, now in Google Chrome, they've got some junk in here. I'm not going to bother with that right now. They did complain that they've got a virus or something going on. But I'm just going to try YouTube. And their speakers work great. So now the next question is does the headphone jack work great? For that, we're going to go over here on my own computer, which is very old Dell Precision M4400. What we have is my other set of speakers. So these speakers get their power through USB right there, and I just need to turn this around. And let's see what happens. Putting the phone down for just a moment. Now, I should have paid attention to this earlier. The headphone jack isn't even listed here as an option. We should have paid attention to this earlier. Maybe some of you did, if anybody actually watches this at some point. Turn this off. So what we have right now is a different problem. Computer's been put back together. It no longer sees an audio jack. So that could be a hardware issue, or it could be a driver issue. First thing I want to do is go into their driver manager, the device manager. Now in a device manager, we should be able to have a look at audio properties. Here we have sound controllers. Everything's in Hebrew except for that. And I'm going to remove it. I'll never delete the software, actually, just the installation. And then we'll let the computer put it back in automatically. In some cases, the computer won't put it back in automatically. It'll start putting it in. And at that point, what you have to do is go and reinstall it altogether. Now, because this isn't used by YouTube right now, the driver's having a difficult time uninstalling itself. So close YouTube. Okay. Should show that device even if nothing's plugged in. Which gives me reason to believe that we got more than one issue on this to solve. So right now we have no sound. Okay, no sound devices. Now what we're going to do in the device manager in order to get those back, or at least one of them, is to do a scan for changed items. So it's finding audio, but it's not yet finding the driver for the audio. And there it goes. It got the driver for the audio. even once it finds the driver for the audio, sometimes you got to go in and make make some changes or restart the computer for everything to work properly. Now I can see that LiveTruck, wow, it's letting me get onto my phone while it records in the background. That is really great. Now I don't care about having it that way right now. It's making a second icon. Oh, that's really, really nifty. It has an overlay on my screen. That's not something I can show you. I don't think it'll let me do that. But I bet the paid version will let me do that. That is very, very cool. Alright, so right now what we have here is a totally other issue. The headphone jack is no longer showing up. Now I'm going to guess that the headphone jack is no longer showing up because whoever stuck that speaker or headphone jack into the headphone port probably partially made it come out of the socket. I don't think that that's enough reason for the headphone not to work. However, I want to have a quick look at the bottom side again. I may have to do some light soldering in order to get that headphone jack visible again. So what we have here is the headphone jack from the back side, and we've got all these different soldering joints for it, and it very, very well could be that one of them isn't any good. I'm going to lightly go over them with a soldering iron. I have found that some of these lesser expensive Chinese soldering irons are actually very sufficient for my needs. It's a whole station. It comes with a nice heat gun, and it comes with a soldering iron that also has on it an extraction tip. And so I normally turn that on, and that way when I'm soldering, or I think and some people would say soldering, it doesn't really matter how you say it as long as you know what it does. If we come down here with the soldering iron and we start to melt solder, you can see that really thin amount of smoke going up into the extraction tube. You see that? It's really light. I don't know what that's going to look like on YouTube, but if I turn the extraction off, at the moment it's very, very visible. Even the stuff that's still on soldering iron. Now if I go here, you can see plenty of it coming out, right? And if I turn on the extraction again, so right now with the extraction on, we can't see anything happening. Maybe get a little bit more solder. That's pretty visible, right? So this is really great. Now, what I want to do is put just a tiny bit of flux. Now, I'm all low tech at the moment. That's why I'm filming with my smart cam, my smartphone's headphone, my smartphone. That's why I'm filming with my smartphone's camera. I'm going to put a tiny bit of flux over these. And I'm going to heat them up. This would be where it would be wonderful to have a really nice setup so that I could see real close and where you guys could see real close.